Hey, this is Ben from Easededge with a video on how to report on invoice items and estimate items, sales reports essentially. So let's say we want to run a report that gives us how much revenue we made last month or how much dollar amount in product we moved last month by reseller. So what we would do is we would select invoices because we're looking at the total invoice amount for this report, and we'll group this by reseller. We have some other options here. We can group by month, day, week, account manager, or any custom select fields that we've created. But for this example, we'll select reseller, and let's say we want to look at all of the invoices marked as paid last month. So first of all, we'll select invoice date, and we'll say last month. We got a bunch of other options here as well, but we'll select last month, and we'll add one more filter that says the invoice status is marked as paid. So we can look at that report, and we can see all of the total invoiced amount for invoices with a date of last month marked as paid, grouped by reseller. So if we want to change that to maybe group by month, we'll and look at the invoices for last year. We'll change the group by to month, and we'll say the invoice date is last year, and we'll see our most profitable month. So we can see here, and all this is test data, so this isn't real data that we're looking at, or at least not all of it. So you can see here that we have last year broken out from March until December. We don't have any data before March, which is why we're not seeing any data for January, February, because we don't have any data in there for January, February invoices marked as paid. But you can see here we've got all of our months broken out. So we can see December is our most the month that we've sold the most or marked the most invoices paid. So we can drill down again and look at these 106 invoices. So let's say instead of looking at total invoices, we want to look at how products are moving. So instead of invoice summary amounts, we'll look at more of the invoice elements themselves. So first I'll just delete these filters, and we'll do an invoice item report instead of invoices. So what we'll look at, let's say we want to look at how product groups performed last month. So what we'll do is we'll group by product group, and these are groups that I've set up in the system settings. So this will vary based on what products you have in your own product groups. So let's just look last month to limit the data a little bit, and we'll say the invoice date was last month. And again, let's look at only invoices that have been either open or paid, so we won't include voided there. And we'll preview that, and we can look at our groups here and see how they perform. So let's look at amount, and our natural stone is outperforming our granite there, and we can look at specific products here. So we've got, since we're reporting on invoice items, we can look at the individual items here that we're selling and how it's coming up with this total quantity. So say we want to, instead of group by product group, we want to group by account manager, and we'll say what are the which account manager is selling the most of group 1, say for example. So what we can do here is we can filter by product group and say, let's just look at a couple of these. Let's just do group 1. Not sure what's in there. Or actually, let's look at natural stone. So we'll see which account manager has sold the most natural stone products in this last month. So we can preview that as well. We can see, wow, Denise Peterson has sold 90,000 this last month of natural stone. And again, we can look down in here and see what those items are that she's actually selling. Let's do a couple more examples. So instead of grouping by account manager, let's look at product. So this will tell us how our actual products are performing. So we'll leave the filters the same. So we'll say invoice date is last month, invoice has status open or paid, and the product is in group natural stone. So we're going to see which product or how the products are performing in the group natural stone. So we can preview that. We can see absolute black. Wow, is outperforming all of our other products at least last month. And we've got Black Galaxy and Moonlight. So we can look at these, and this might give you a good insight into what color styles are performing. So if we want to look at our quantities here, we can see kind of what colors or styles of colors are performing better than the others, or moving at least more than the others. And it's interesting because the total quantity doesn't always directly correlate with the amount. So again, you get some insight into what's going on with your sales and your products. So we got a couple other options here. We can group by group by reseller and see, say for example, we want to see which reseller is consuming the most natural stone product. And CCM out buying everybody else in stone, at least last month, fairly significantly. So, well, we've got a lot more filters here. I won't go through all of them, but I encourage you to play around with them and see how the data results. It'll become fairly clear to you pretty quickly. So these are all the filters that you can group. You can filter by. You can filter by specific products, the customer's current status, reseller, product unit. So if you want to see all of the products that are being sold by the square foot, say for example, if you don't have everything broken into groups, you could say, well, show me all the products, limit only the products to products that have the unit of square foot, which would probably be your granite products or installation costs, linear foot, linear inch, whatever that may be. You can filter by to only sum up products with these units. And again, you're able to filter by custom fields as well. Got custom fields down there. So just to wrap up, we went over invoices and invoice item reports. Estimate and estimate item reports are pretty much identical, except instead of reporting on invoices and invoice items, you're reporting on estimate and estimate items. Other than that, it's pretty much going to be very, very similar types of data that you're getting, except you're not looking at actually invoiced items. They're going to be estimated items or estimates. So that wraps up the video on sales reports.